Chapter 10. The Architect's Gamble. He who jumps into the void owes no explanation to those who stand and watch. Jean-Luc Godard. Lucius stood at the edge of an abyss, a chasm that stretched infinitely in every direction. The void before him wasn't empty. It was alive, vibrating with possibilities. It whispered to him, beckoning him to take the leap. The Chrysalis had brought him here, but now it was up to him to decide. The architect of waking dreams stood beside him, a being of light and shadow, impossibly tall and yet weightless. The architect didn't speak in words, but Lucius could feel the questions lingering in the space between them. Will you jump? Will you take the gamble? Lucius had seen the vastness of reality, the threads that connected everything, the echoes of alternate worlds that overlapped his own. He had glimpsed the power to shape reality through thought, will, and belief. But he knew this wasn't just about power. It was about purpose. What did it mean to truly create? To gamble everything for a dream? He looked into the void and saw flickers of worlds not yet born. Realities where he could become a hero, a villain, a god, or something beyond all of that. He could reshape the cosmos, bring light to the darkest corners, or fall endlessly through the void of his own making. The architect's presence grew stronger, and Lucius could feel the weight of the decision pressing down upon him. This wasn't a simple choice. It was a turning point in the fabric of existence. The leap into the void would either destroy him or transform him into something greater than he could possibly imagine. What happens if I don't jump? Lucius asked, his voice trembling with both fear and curiosity. The architect's response was a wave of understanding that rippled through his mind. To stay is to remain as you are, untouched, unchanged, a single thread in the endless tapestry. But to jump is to become the weaver, the dreamer, the architect of your own reality. Lucius took a deep breath. He thought of everything that had brought him here, the pain, the struggles, the revelations, and the moments of transcendence. Every step of the journey had led him to this point, to this impossible choice. He felt the weight of all the lives he had touched, and all the lives yet to be affected by his decisions. The void held both promise and peril. It was the ultimate gamble, but it was also the path to something new, something beyond the limits of what he had known. He glanced at the architect, who watched him with an intensity that seemed to stretch beyond time. The being of light, the being of shadow, was both his guide and his reflection, a mirror of his own potential. Lucius knew that this wasn't just about him. The jump wasn't about personal gain or power. It was about creation, about forging something meaningful from the chaos of existence. It was about taking the risk, trusting in the process, and allowing the unknown to shape him in ways he couldn't yet comprehend. Without another word, Lucius took a step forward. The void shimmered beneath him, and for a brief moment he felt weightless, suspended between worlds. The architect's presence faded as he plummeted it into the abyss, and Lucius was left alone with the infinite possibilities swirling around him. There was no fear, only a sense of anticipation, of wonder. The void embraced him, and he felt his essence unraveling, expanding, merging with the very fabric of existence. He wasn't falling, he was becoming. Every thought, every memory, every desire was being woven into the tapestry of creation. He wasn't just a thread anymore, he was the weaver. And as Lucius surrendered to the void, he realized that the gamble had never been about winning or losing. It had always been about the leap itself, the act of creation, the embrace of the unknown, the willingness to dream beyond the boundaries of reality. He was the architect now, and the worlds he would build were limitless. In the vast expanse of the void, Lucius smiled. The journey had begun anew. Chapter 11. The Chrysalis Conclave. Those who seek the light are merely blind to the shadow they cast. The air in the chamber hummed with a strange energy, a tension so palpable that it seemed to thrum in Lucius's veins. He found himself in a place that defied the laws of nature, a grand hall suspended in time and space where the boundaries between thought and matter had all but dissolved. The walls shifted with a kaleidoscope of colors, images, and memories from countless worlds all converging into one. At the center of the chamber, seated in a circle around a swirling vortex of light and shadow, were the conclave. Each member was a master of their respective domain, a pantheon of minds that had ventured far beyond the limits of conventional reality. Some were ancient, their forms ghostly and ethereal. Others were new, vibrant with the unbridled energy of youth. But all were marked by the chrysalis. The glow in their eyes, the aura around their beings spoke of a transformation that had taken them beyond the mortal coil into something far more profound. They had each taken the leap into the void and emerged as something other, more than human, less than gods, but bound to a purpose that transcended both. Lucius stood at the edge of the circle, feeling both honored and unnerved by the attention of the conclave. The architect had brought him here, but now it was up to him to navigate the treacherous waters of this assembly. These were the ones who had shaped worlds, altered timelines, and bent the fabric of reality to their will. The conclave's leader, a figure who seemed to be woven from the very threads of time itself, spoke without moving his lips. His voice resonated in Lucius's mind like the tolling of a distant bell. "Lucius, seeker of the chrysalis, we welcome you to the conclave. But know this, your journey has only begun. The transformation you've undergone is merely the first step. The true test lies ahead." Lucius swallowed, feeling the weight of their expectations pressing down on him. "What is this test?" he asked, his voice reverberating in the surreal silence of the chamber. Another member of the conclave, a being with eyes like burning stars, responded, "The chrysalis is not just a gift, it is a responsibility. It allows you to see beyond the veil, to understand the truth of existence. But with that knowledge comes a choice. Will you use your power to create, or will you succumb to the darkness that lies within all who wield such power?" Lucius could feel the room darken slightly at those words, settled into his consciousness. He knew they spoke of the void, of the abyss he had jumped onto, and of the infinite possibilities that had surrounded him. The conclave was testing not just his abilities, but his very soul. The leader leaned forward, his gaze piercing into Lucius's very being. "There are those who would use the chrysalis to shape the world in their image, to impose their will on others. And then there are those who would seek to understand, to explore, to embrace the mystery of creation without seeking to dominate it. You must choose your path, Lucius, and that choice will determine not just your fate, but the fate of countless others." Lucius felt a chill run down his spine. The weight of the conclave's words, the enormity of the decision before him, pressed in on him from all sides. The visions he had seen, the worlds he had glimpsed, they all converged into the moment, into the choice. He closed his eyes, searching within himself for the answer. He saw the faces of those he had left behind, the ones he had hurt, the ones he had helped. He saw the dreams he had once held dear, the ones that had driven him to this point, and he saw the darkness within himself, the shadow that the chrysalis had revealed. But he also saw the light of possibility, of creation, of something new and beautiful emerging from the chaos. He realized that the choice wasn't between light and dark, but between fear and love, between control and surrender, between shaping the world in his image or letting the world shape him. Lucius opened his eyes and met the gaze of the conclave leader. "I choose the path of creation," he said, his voice steady. "I choose to explore, to learn, to grow. I will not impose my will on others, but I will not shy away from the responsibility that comes with the chrysalis. I will be the weaver, not the tyrant." The conclave was silent for a long moment, and Lucius feared he had made the wrong choice. But then slowly the leader nodded, and a wave of approval rippled through the assembly. "So be it," the leader intoned. "You have chosen wisely, Lucius. But remember, the path of creation is fraught with peril. The more you create, the more you will be tempted to control. The more you learn, the more you will realize how little you truly know. The chrysalis will guide you, but it will also challenge you. You must remain vigilant, lest the darkness consumes you." Lucius nodded. Feeling the weight of their words, he knew the journey ahead would not be easy, but he was ready to face it. He had chosen his path, and now he would walk it, no matter where it led. The conclave leader raised his hand, and the swirling vortex of light and shadow in the center of the chamber began to glow brighter. "Welcome to the conclave, Lucius. Your journey continues." And with that, the chamber began to dissolve around him, the colors and shapes fading into a brilliant white light. Lucius felt himself being pulled into the light, and as he was, he knew that his journey had only just begun.